Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Big Money Show, brought to you by the team of Big Financial Services. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and I'm joined in the studio by the president, Glenn Cummings. We're so glad that you're joining us today, and we have a very important conversation for you. We know that the number one fear of most retirees is running out of money, and that one of the biggest expenses looming in your retirement is your health care, and specifically the potential need for long-term care. Now, don't be tempted to change that channel. We know this might not be the most fun subject in the world to talk about. We promise we're going to do our best to make it fun, but most importantly, we want you to walk away with actionable strategies so that you don't fall victim to a healthcare invasion on your retirement. Glenn, my friend, are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's talk about long-term care. It's not really a great subject that many of us want to talk about.
But we have to.
But we have to. And I can tell you one thing. Personally, myself, 15 years of my life, of my spouse's life, of my children's lives, we're taking care of sick family members in our own home.
You've lived this.
I have lived it.
Yeah.
I have lived it. And it can be devastating to families, because I can tell you one thing. A lot of the other brothers and sisters that would help with mom and dad, they weren't in Florida. They were up in Pennsylvania, right? And as many times as we said, we need help, we need help. What's out of sight's out of mind, because they knew that me and my spouse were taking care of our sick family members. Father-in-law, 4 years of cancer, back and forth to the cancer center every single day before he finally passed away. He went through $500,000 of his life savings that was supposed to go to my mother-in-law, right? And then when he passed away, not only did she lose the $500,000 that was supposed to go to her, she also lost his alimony he was responsible for. So her income lost an additional couple $1,000s a month. That was devastating to her. She couldn't afford her house payments anymore. She had to move in with us. And unfortunately, she simply was at home. She did not want to move, right? So we tried to help financially to keep her in her own home. But out of nowhere, we get a phone call. And she was up and down her stairs carrying laundry, and she fell. And when she fell, we got a phone call from her. And we were panicked, So my spouse and I, at full speed, right down the road, she lived about 2 miles away. We show up at the house, we walk in the house, and she's simply sitting there, full makeup, hair's done, her pants were pressed, and I'm looking at my spouse, and we're looking at her mom, and we're like, what's going on here? And she's like, and we looked at her leg, and her leg was broken in 3 different places.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
She was in shock. She literally knew that she had to go to the hospital.
But
she got dressed. It was just shocking. So we ended up getting her to the hospital, multiple surgeries later. Unfortunately, her memory started to go, right? Now she's diagnosed with Alzheimer's, right? So this is a person that I would sit across the table with. We'd argue politics, and she would always win. I never won, okay? I would never win with her. She would put me in my place. But within a very short period of time, she literally was holding a baby that she thought was real, but it was a little fake baby. She was feeding it, right? She was watching the same TV shows over and over and over again, right? And unfortunately, that kind of disease progresses and progresses and progresses.
And
it gets
can progress quickly, right?
Worse and worse and worse. So unfortunately, she had to go into a nursing home, and that's very, very expensive. I mean, just the average cost of a nursing home today, could be between $5,000 to $10,000 a month, right? And those figures double every 10 years. So what happens in a lot of cases, what I see in a lot of cases, is the husbands generally will get sick first, right? And then they're actually living a pretty good retirement. They have certain bills paid off. They've got some money saved in the bank, But then when the husband gets sick and you have to put out $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 a month to cover care, or hire nurses to come in and out of your home, it's devastating, devastating. And the next thing you know, the money's run out, like my mother-in-law, and then the wife is in a financial situation that she's not comfortable with. Her retirement's affected tremendously because she's lost income from her husband passing away, of course.
Yep.
That happens, right? And she's also lost a lot of the money that they had saved. And then if she gets sick, now she's a burden on her kids. Let me tell you one thing, folks. Many of you out there never want to become a burden to your kids, ever, right? So it's not always about what the kids get when we go. It's about making sure that we're never a burden, right? So make sure you're not a burden. And the proper planning, right, can include some long-term care planning to where there is money there available, right, to help with those costs, to help with that care. So there's all kinds of plans that are available that in some cases don't even require a physical or an exam, right? And you take your investments, you invest the money into this plan or this contract, generally through a life insurance company. It could be a life insurance policy. It could be some type of annuity contract that can provide some of those unique guarantees to help with those long-term care costs. And here's what's really unique. Even if that plan runs out of money covering the care and the cost, and I were to pass away, my spouse still gets income the rest of her life. She's never financially destitute. Do you folks have that type of contract? Do you have that type of plan? If you don't, you need to give us a call. Let us share it with you, because once you learn what's available, you'll have so much more comfort and confidence in your retirement. We want you to have confidence in your retirement. We want to make sure that everything is covered, especially long-term care, because that's something that a lot of us are going to need, unfortunately. Don't always think your health is going to be good for the rest of your life, right? It's going to be affected at some point in time, and you may need some help. Don't leave those spouses, or don't put a burden on your family to take care of you. It's not a good thing.
Well, Glenn, thank you so much for your vulnerability and being willing to share that story. I know you treat this with a lot of care and compassion, especially since you not only have lived it yourself, but you've walked through this road with so many of your clients. And again, we know that it's not the most fun thing to think about, but typically, as you've shared, most folks start to think about it once they've had to, and maybe they've wanted to, and that's a beautiful thing, care for family members, but we know that takes such a toll on folks, not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, and everything else, and it can speed up your own aging process when you're responsible for caring for others as well. So I know this is something that we need to get into as we continue on today's show. We're going to talk about more strategies that are available to you, but this is one of many things that Glenn and the team at Big Financial Services can talk through with you when you come in and schedule your very own time to have a complimentary written financial plan built for you. Now, this is for no cost, no charge, no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how the team can help and serve you, but you have to take action, and it starts with making this important phone call. That number to call to schedule yours is 888-503-7408, or if you'd rather connect online, simply scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Glenn is going to be sharing with you some more strategies and options available to help you navigate through your long-term care needs. Stay with us.
So you own a 401k, you have an IRA, you have a tax-deferred account, an account where you put in pre-tax dollars, and it grew tax-deferred, and it's grown to quite a bit of money. And then you reach this ripe old age of required minimum distributions, where the government requires you to take out money, a percentage of that account. And as you get older, they require you to take a larger percentage of that account that is 100% fully taxable to you at ordinary income tax rates. I see this all the time. Families are completely devastated, but now they're forced to take those distributions. What do? We look at Roth conversions, folks. Roth conversions give you the opportunity to get out of those tax-deferred IRA accounts. Look at a Roth conversion. Are these easy to do? No. Sit down with someone today and figure out, hey, what's my option that's available to get me out of this large taxable account? What are the options available? We can share that with you. Please give our office a call. Did you know Uncle Sam has a say in your retirement withdrawals? Once you hit a certain age, the IRS forces you to take required minimum distributions, also known as RMDs, and every dollar, unfortunately, is taxed. But how much will you owe? Could RMDs push you into a higher tax bracket or even impact your Social Security? Don't guess, folks. Run the numbers with our easy RMD tax calculator. Find out your potential tax hit before you make a move. Go to bigtaxbill.com and find out now.
Welcome back. You're watching The Big Money Show, brought to you by the team of Big Financial Services. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, here with the president, Glenn Cummings, and we're so glad that you're joining us today. If you're just tuning in, Glenn and I are having a very important conversation on long-term care planning. And Glenn, I so appreciate that you shared your personal story. You lived through this, you and your spouse, your whole family, caring for aging relatives. You've seen firsthand the impact and the toll that it can have. And again, we know that this is not the most fun thing to think through, but the statistics show that 70% of people over the age of 65 are going to need some type of long-term care. And there's a huge misconception out there that Medicare will cover it.
Yep.
It does not,
Nope,
right?
does
it
not.
only covers 100 days of skilled nursing care, and
Yep.
that's it.
Rehabilitation primarily if you have a fall or an injury. But no, it doesn't cover it.
Yep.
Right?
And then long-term care insurance, I think that's the other issue, is for so many years that was the solution. But the problem with that is you're paying for something that you don't know if you're going to need it or not. And if you don't use it, you lose it. So that's not a viable option for a lot of people either. So what is the solution in today's economic climate?
Well, the solution is that generally, if I get sick, I just need more money, right, coming in, that I can hire nurses and other people to come take care of my family, which is what I did, right? So I didn't really just jump right into the long-term care facility route. We did 4 years with my mother-in-law in our own home with nursing care with us, trying to help take care of her before she actually ended up going into a long-term care facility for the last year of her life, okay? But it's very difficult because I look at my aunt. You know, my aunt was 104 years old when she passed away.
Wow.
Okay.
We should all be so blessed, right?
Yeah. Her last 15 years was in the nicest long-term care facility that you could ever imagine. They had steak dinners whenever she wanted it, lobster dinners. You know, they had a little van that would take some of the residents to go see movies, go see concerts, go see shows. She truly loved, right, being in the assisted living atmosphere, right? But guess what? It was expensive.
I'm sure. Yeah.
That facility was so expensive, but she had the money to pay for it, right? Where my mother-in-law didn't.
Right.
So our options were not that good of a facility, right? She didn't have the money. So what I want to do is I want to take your money that you have, and it can be an IRA. This is what's unique. You can actually turn your IRA through some of these large life insurance companies. You can put them into a pension or an annuity contract that will generate a future guaranteed income or an income now that with certain rules and exclusions will double your income to help with those long-term care costs, right?
Yep.
And what's nice is that a lot of those have no physicals or exams. So if you haven't been able to qualify for long-term care, right, some of these plans could offer you that opportunity.
Right.
Now, you may have a waiting period of a couple of years before you can use that long-term care rider or benefit, but the money's sitting there to use. And the main benefit is that if I use that benefit, so let's assume that you and I are married, okay? We'll just assume today, okay? But you and I are married and I have my own IRA, right? And I put it into one of these guaranteed annuity contracts with one of these larger life insurance companies. You always want to check on the claims paying ability of the company and make sure they're a good company. But let's assume that I were to have my IRA and I were to put it into this contract, and it's going to grow a certain guarantee for my income for you and I in the future, right? And let's assume when I turn that income on, it's $50,000 a year. Let's just an assumption here, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden, I get sick first. Many of these contracts allow that $50,000 to double to $100,000 for up to 5 long years. So let's assume I use 2 years of it and God takes me home. Okay? guess what? In a lot of cases, in a lot of these contracts, there's 3 years left for you, right? Or let's assume worst case scenario. It's a contract in my name, it's my IRA, but because you're my spouse, I can use that doubler if you get sick first. So even though it's not your own money, it's not your IRA, because we're married, some of these contracts allow that $100,000 a year to be used up to 5 years for you. And here's my favorite thing of all. Let's assume we do that, okay? If I take $100,000 a year out of a contract and say it has $500,000 in it, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. Here's the point. If that contract goes to zero and there's no money left, if my money was in some other type of investment, it was in a bank account, it was in a mutual fund account or 401k, and the account goes to zero trying to cover my spouse's long-term care, and there's no money left in it, how much money is left over for the well spouse that's still alive? Right? In some of these contracts, it'll double. And then when the contract goes to zero, you're not out of income. It actually goes back to the $50,000 a year for the well spouse, either you or me, whoever's still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'm always going to be getting that income. Here's the thing. We want our kids to fight over us to take care of us. And I'm just being honest here, okay? Because my mother-in-law and father-in-law and my mom, which had 4 years of breast cancer that passed away in my home, right? They didn't have the resources that we're building today for our clients. And if my mom had $50,000 to $100,000 a year guaranteed coming in a guaranteed income plan, my brothers and sisters and aunts, uncles, everyone would have fought over mom and dad, my mother-in-law, father-in-law, to take care of them. Because you know what? Oh, by the way, $100,000 a year, we'll take care of mom, right? We'll get her a little place here at the house, right? But if they don't have the money, that's the sad part about it is that they don't have the money, then it's up to whoever in the family has the money that can afford to take care of them, right? So there are plans that are available. There's other plans that are through life insurance, right? Life insurance is another great opportunity to where whatever that death benefit is, say it's a $500,000 death benefit, right? Where if something happens to me and you're my spouse and you're gonna get this $500,000 death benefit when I go. Some of the life insurance companies now will allow you to go up to a high percentage of that death benefit before you pass away and use that money in some cases tax-free to cover my long-term care cost. If you're not familiar with those plans, sit down with us. Give us a phone call. Let's just share them with you. It doesn't hurt to understand and be given a bunch of stuff to read and review and give you that comfort and that peace that you truly need to make sure that large expense can have some assistance or be covered to where you're not a burden on your kids or your wife or your family.
Yes, I'm so grateful to know that you walk through this with folks because I think there's a lack of awareness that there are other solutions out there. And so if you're watching this show and this has brought up something for you, or maybe you're working with another financial advisor and they're not having these kinds of conversations with you, it's time for you to get a second opinion. And we know that this can feel really scary and really overwhelming, and it might be new to you, but the good news is it's not new to Glenn and the team at Big Financial Services. You don't have to go it alone. They are here to help you navigate successfully through this important decision and care for you and your life and for your family. So we encourage you to reach out and schedule your time to receive your complimentary written financial plan. Again, you can do so by calling 888-503-7408, or if you'd rather connect online, simply scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more right after this.
So if you're close to retirement, that's pretty awesome, right? But a lot of people that I meet with can already retire. They think I've got another 4 or 5 year window before I can retire, right? And the reason why is they haven't sat down. They haven't budgeted everything of what they're gonna need. You need to sit down with someone that can help you with planning for that retirement. Because once you retire, you lose a job. You know, we've got to make up that job with income from somewhere. And we want to make sure that income can last, right? The rest of our lives. That's a very important thing. So sitting down with a professional, not only me, but shop around. Just make sure that they build a plan for you that you can review and feel comfortable with. Building those plans is very, very important. And that way it gives you some kind of peace to it. And that's what most of us want to know is when can we retire? Well, there's all kinds of different tools that are available out there, and it's working with someone that knows all the tools. Imagine not having to face your retirement journey with those same old corporate solutions like everyone else has. In these economic times, you deserve a fresh perspective that includes personalized income planning and some independent thinking from an experienced fiduciary advisor who will focus on you. Call today for your complimentary review.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show, where today Glenn and I have been discussing the important subject of long-term care. Again, we know that this is something that a lot of folks are concerned about and worried about. This is why a lot of folks are concerned about running out of money, because here's the thing, you don't know how much what kind of care you might need, how long you might need it. It can be challenging to plan for something and really, Glenn, to put money down for something that you don't even know if you're going to need or not. But again, not having it is way worse than being covered. You did such a great job of explaining all the different products that are now available and tools to help assist people with their long-term care costs. My one question I was thinking about as you were sharing all that, why aren't more folks aware that there are these other options outside of just the traditional long-term care insurance that traditionally has only been what's been available?
Well, the problem is, as I call it, a conflict of interest. Okay, it's always a conflict of interest. When you have your money invested with a publicly traded financial services company, right? That company needs to generate retained earnings. One of the things that generates retained earnings is fees, commissions, all kinds of things, right? So to keep your money in those types of accounts, right? And as your money grows over time, they make more money off of your money.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So a lot of times they don't want to even talk about anything else. They just want you to keep your money there. And when you go to pull your money out, good luck. I deal with it every day, trying to move people's money from different financial planning companies. They don't want to let the money go because they're going to lose those fees. They're going to lose that revenue, right? But this is called retirement planning, which is what we do. It's not accumulation planning. We're not just continually trying to accumulate a lot of money, which is important. We want to accumulate money as well, but we want to plan for the worst case scenario. We want to plan if something happens to me, you're taken care of with income. We want to plan that if I need long-term care, there's money there to cover it. And if for some reason that money runs out, you're still getting an income guaranteed.
Right.
And also we want to make sure that, let's assume that I never need that care. Right? If I don't need that care, that means that more money is going to go to you, my spouse, if we're married, and it's going to go to my children that are my beneficiaries, right? So those are strategies that a lot of people don't share, right? We want to share those with you. We want to help cover those needs, those costs, because one thing I can tell you is that a lot of us have never been through an experience of a sick family member. We haven't been through it, right?
Right.
A lot of people out there, younger families haven't been through a 2008 crash. They think the markets are always going to go up, right? So it's a little frustrating sometimes for me, because when I have my workshops, I have people come and I say, anybody gone through any difficulties with family to help them with their long-term care? Generally, half the room raise their hand, and every one of those people say, I'm working right now to take care of my mom or my dad. This is so difficult on my family. I want to meet with you to figure this out. But the other people have never been through that situation before.
Right.
And it's the last thing that's on their mind, right? So don't make it be the last thing on your mind. The reality of it is a high percentage of us can get sick down the road. Sit down with a professional that can share plans and ideas that we're just going to give you copies of to review. Pick up your phone, look at the QR code, give us a phone call. Let's get together. We can do a phone call. We can do a Zoom. You can come into my beautiful office in Tampa. We can have a fresh cup of coffee. Look at all the beautiful oak trees all around my building. I mean, you may fall asleep though, okay?
Because it's very relaxing,
It's
right?
very relaxing in my office, okay? But let's get educated. We're a very successful firm. We're not going to twist your arm. Learn about long-term care, what's available. Don't just learn it from me. Meet with other advisors, other people that specialize in it, and find the plan that fits you and your family's needs. That is the call to action here. And when we say a complimentary written financial plan, that financial plan includes taxes, long-term care, income guarantees. It includes all of those things that you're concerned with in retirement. Give us a call. I know you're going to go ahead and send us out here, but don't just sit at home and procrastinate. These kind of things can happen. Because, you know, myself personally, I don't think I'm ever going to go, right? I mean, I'm going to be around forever. You know, I'm going to be doing this show the next 55 years. I'm going to look the same. Does anybody believe that? No.
If you find the secret to that, you better let everybody know.
I've got the secret. Right. I know it. I believe it in my own mind. The reality of it is I had back surgery a few years ago, and I couldn't get out of bed for 3 weeks. It was during COVID, and all the hospitals were closed. I was in the worst pain of my life. Right? I literally had to have my mother-in-law, the girl that took care of my mother-in-law, the nurse, come over to the house with my neighbor to help pull me out of the bed so I can go to the restroom, right? So I had back surgery. I'm in great shape now. But that right there for me was, man, I'm not this guy that's going to be around forever.
Right.
You know, I'm a big guy, the Big Money Show, right? I'm a big guy. I'm a heavy guy. I need 2 to 3 people to get me around. I'm going to need 2 to 3 times the amount of money to cover my care down the road, right? I've prepared for it. I've been through it before.
Yes.
Don't go through it. Have a plan built in case you go through it. You're protected. That's the main key. Don't procrastinate.
Yes, for sure. Well, we know the number one cause of financial failure is procrastination. And I think, again, because it's not fun to think about, a lot of people put it off until it's too late. But unless you've been through it, like I think for folks who have gone through caring for aging family members, they're a lot more motivated to take care of this for themselves once they've been through it. And again, we know it can feel really overwhelming, but if you would like help and expertise, again, Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services have helped hundreds of people navigate through this correctly and securely. You have worked so hard your whole life. Do not let a healthcare invasion implode what you have worked so hard to build. I think that's what really the bottom line is of the show, right?
Yes. Be careful, be aware, see what's available. Don't be afraid to learn, right? Don't be afraid to learn. Don't just put it in the back burner, right? Also, make sure you have a power of attorney that allows your family members to step in and take care of you if you get sick, right? How many of you have a good power of attorney out there? How many of you don't have a power of attorney? That should be a part of your plan. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you.
Wonderful. Glenn, thank you so much. And thank you again for sharing
so
your story. This has been really powerful, and we hope that you have found it to be valuable as well. Again, we encourage you to reach out. That number to call to schedule your time to come in and receive that complimentary written financial plan is 888-503-7408. Maybe long-term care is something that you're currently concerned about, but again, the team can address all aspects of your financial life, but you have to reach out. In addition to calling the number, you're welcome to scan that QR code as well. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you being here. We look forward to being back with you next time here on The Big Money Show.